not for you anymore because you're just a nobody in the Midwest, so you don't count. So what is Trump doing? Trump goes to the Middle East. This was I thought one of the biggest stories of the year. And literally the Wall Street Journal, and again, I hate to pick on them because there's still a paper I subscribe to, and I don't want to, I want them to turn around here. They had a paper, didn't even cover it. There was nothing. You couldn't see on the front page any sign that Trump was in the Middle East. He goes to the Middle East, Saudi Arabia and Qatar and all these places, and he upends everything. He changes everything. And he starts out, and this is what he says. Listen to this speech that he made in Riyadh, I guess it was, in Saudi Arabia. Listen to what he says about our relations with the Middle East. And remember, don't forget Obama's apology tour, where it was our fault for kind of feeling bad about the fact that they bombed New York, and we're sorry, we felt bad about that. We should have understood your point of view. That's not what Trump says at all. Let's hear what Trump says, cut 2.
Before our eyes, a new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts of tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos, where it exports technology, not terrorism, and where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are building cities together, not bombing each other out of existence. We don't want that.
Now, if you listen closely to that, right, he's not saying you are doing that. He's saying some of you want to do that, and that's why I'm here. He's talking about a change, right? He's really good at this. He really is good at this. He's been so friendly, and he's slapping them on the shoulder, and he's shaking hands and making fun of them, in a friendly, funny way. But he's not saying this is a great place. He's saying, come into the modern world. That's where we want you to be. But then he adds this is cut 3.
And it's crucial for the wider world to note this great transformation has not come from Western interventionists or flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. No, the gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits like those who spent trillions and trillions of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many other cities. Instead, the birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves, the people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives, developing your own sovereign countries, pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies in your own way.
He's talking to a specific group of people, the people who, in fact, have built this culture, have built these cities, right? He's saying, you didn't need us to come in and tell you. I mean, that is just absolute respect. And we all know what he thinks of George W. Bush's wars. He's tired of the whole thing. He's tired of the neocons. But he's also pointing out that there is this other faction that is being wrong-footed by this endless Palestinian-Israel conflict, which is not Israel's fault. It is not Israel's fault. Israel is fighting for survival. I'm a big supporter of Israel, but as I've said a million times, this is my country. I only have one country, and I only care what happens to America. But I think one of the good things we can do is obviously be on the side of people who are free, people who treat women with respect, people who treat other religions with respect. These are not things that happen in Muslim countries. But we can't make everybody look like us. If there is one mistake that every single president has made since the end of World War II, it's really since Woodrow Wilson in a lot of ways, it's that we somehow were on a mission to make the world safe for democracy and only democracy. So here he goes on. This is cut 4.
In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves. They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it themselves.
So he's taking the responsibility and all this. And then he said,
this fall, heel pain and sore arches won't stop you. Hand-stitched leather boots deliver last.
This is cut 5.
In recent years, far too many American presidents have been afflicted with the notion that it's our job to look into the souls of foreign leaders and use U.S. policy to dispense justice for their sins. They loved using our very powerful military. And now it's really the most powerful it's ever been. We just are getting a budget approved, $1 trillion, highest budget we've ever had in history for military, $1 trillion. And we're getting the greatest missiles, the greatest weapons. And, you know, I hate to do it, but you have to do it because we believe in peace through strength. You have to have the strength, otherwise bad things could happen. But hopefully we'll never have to use any of those weapons. Seems to be an awfully big waste of money if you're never going to use them, but hopefully we'll never have to use them because the destructive power of some of those weapons are like nobody's seen before. I believe it is God's job to sit in judgment, my job to defend America, and to promote the fundamental interest of stability, prosperity, and peace. That's what I really want to do.
So let me just parse that for you. Let me unpack that for you, okay? What he said there was, yes, we came over and we were going to turn you all into democracies, and that was wrong. You know, we shouldn't have done it. You have your culture, we have our culture. We think your culture is wrong, you think our culture is wrong, fine. We're going to do business. And if you don't stop causing wars, we are going to bomb the bleeping bleep out of you. I mean, that's basically what he's saying. If you want to mess with us, you are messing with the biggest tribe. You are messing with the worst. And I'm not Joe Biden. I'm not Barack Obama. I'm Donald Trump. When I draw a line in the sand, you're not going to like it if you cross over it. I mean, that's what he's saying. He's saying it in the nicest possible way. He's saying, oh my God, our military, you got to see this, guys. If we unleash this military on you, your sand would be turned to glass. You would be living on a plane of glass, and that would be it. You wouldn't even be living there because you'd all be dead. However, luckily, I don't want that. You know, I don't want that. You don't want it. Nobody wants it. And we're not going to bother you. You want to dress up your women like the ghost of Christmas yet to come, go ahead. You know, we're not going to talk to you about rights. We're just going to do deals with you, do business with you for our advantage. We're going to do it for our advantage. We are not your mommy. We are not your daddy. We're just the biggest business in town. We're just the biggest business in town. You need us if you want to make. So, you know, people are saying all this stuff. This is globalism because we live on a globe. You know, the world is the size of a marble. It is globalism, but it's globalism with nations in it. So we are different nations, different businesses that are actually rivals that can cooperate and do things for one another. He's not saying, oh, you take our factories and we'll just let the Midwest, you know, turn into a rust belt. But, you know, where he made that first inaugural address and he said, you know, this American carnage has to stop. And all the papers were, that's dark. That's dark. I was in the Midwest. I traveled in Obama's Midwest. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe the boarded windows. I couldn't believe the rusting factories. I couldn't believe the people shuffling down the street on whatever drugs they were taking. It was, I had spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time in the Midwest when I was a kid traveling around, and it was completely transformed by the globalists who were having a great time. They were reading the Wall Street Journal. Hey, you know, let's not have any of those tariffs. Those tariffs are not going to be good for business. You know, they just abandoned this. And so all he's doing is bringing in a new globalism of competing and cooperating nations. You're a nice nation. We can cooperate with you. You don't have to change your culture. You don't have to be democracy. You don't even have to be nice to your women. We wish you would, but that's not what we're here for. We are not here to transform you into us. We're just here to help us and do business that is mutually, and believe me, the Middle East, who's it filled with? Jews and Arabs. If anybody knows about that kind of business, it's Jews and Arabs. This is something they knew naturally. So all he's saying is, let's do mutual business. Now, let's take a look at the way it was before, because this is the way they cover Trump, as if there's no context, as if nothing else was ever happening in any other way. Everything was just absolutely tickety-boo until Trump got there and ruined it all with MAGA. Let's take a look at the way it was before. Let's face it, current handgun storage options are